Today, I want to talk about the importance of getting health checks, possibly going on TRT or testosterone replacement therapy, checking your blood every year to make sure that you're good, and just being healthy. I was a little hesitant to go on TRT at first because I always told myself that I wanted to do everything naturally. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I want to be the best version of myself, not only for myself, but for my family and for my kids. Why not be the best that I can be, you know? So in today's episode, I want to talk about just that. Welcome to the Legacy Builders Podcast, where we are redefining generational wealth one story at a time. I'm your host, Mario Gonzalez Jr., and today I want to talk about the importance of TRT and why it's important to get your levels checked, man. For the longest time, I told myself that, I'm going to do everything naturally. And so I did. I tried to get tons of sleep. I tried to eat the right things. I tried to take supplements and do all the things that I could do. I always tested on the lower end of normal, so it didn't really bother me too much, And in my early 20s, like a lot of us do, we have a high metabolism. Things are working great. We heal quickly. We just have testosterone at the ass. And so I was like, hopefully I feel this way forever. And then I got married and had kids. I gained 60 pounds. I was overweight. And in that period of my life, I didn't really care. But 5 years ago, when I turned about 35, I started getting fit again. I was working out. I was eating right. I wasn't drinking as much anymore. And I got tested and I was like, cool, my testosterone is on the lower end of normal. So again, didn't really think about it too much. I thought I was good. It was at a certain point when I turned 39, I believe, and this was 2 years ago, I just noticed that my energy dropped. Like prior to that, I could go to the trampoline park and jump with my kids for an hour straight. I would have to take breaks. I would get winded, but I could jump with them an hour straight. I was walking 20 to 25,000 steps a day because I was training dogs at that time. I was working out 3 times a week at 5:15 in the morning outside, going to the gym 6 days a week, going on hikes, super, super active. And I was like, cool, I never have to go on TRT. I feel freaking phenomenal. And then it seemed like it happened overnight, but I know it didn't. My energy was just gone. I didn't feel like jumping with my kids. And maybe it could have been stress. Maybe it could have been depression, but I had never felt that way before. My strength, that's where I noticed it the most. My strength at the gym started going down a lot. And I was like, what the heck is wrong with me? So naturally, I go to get my testosterone checked and they say, hey, you're on the lower end of normal. And so I was like, well, crap, business as usual. And so I tried all the natural things again. I tried to increase some of those activities and it just wasn't snapping back for me. And I had looked at TRT before and I just hesitated because I didn't want to put some chemical or some synthetic substance in my body because it's not natural. Your body produces it naturally, but why do I want to inject myself? Plus, I freaking hate needles, I just never wanted to be that dude. I just wanted to be natty as much as I could be, if you will. So I go to a clinic, I get tested again. This is probably 6 months after that. And they test me and they're like, well, we can put you on it. We can get you a subscription. There might be some testicle shrinkage. Of course, that made me hesitate a little too. I was like, whoa, not that I have massive testicles, but I don't want them to get any smaller, And I was like, what are the side effects? And they're like, well, there really is none. But the reason why I shied away from them is because I felt like they were just trying to sell me. I felt like they told me that I don't really need it, but they can give it to me. And I've never been that person to jump on the bandwagon. Like, just because I can have it doesn't mean I should have it, So them trying to oversell me really turned me off. So again, for another, I'd say 4 to 6 months, I was just trying to do the natural thing. And then it just got to a point where I just didn't feel like I was myself. The energy wasn't there, just not wanting to play with my kids, just all those things that I mentioned before. And so I visited another clinic Sparta TRT, great company, great dude. I think it might be franchise though, so it could be a mixed bag. But this gentleman did my blood exam. We sat for a one-on-one. He actually broke things down to me to where I could understand them. And I most importantly, I didn't feel like I was being sold, you know? And so with that, I said, you know what? I have to try it, because another one of my fears was that I didn't want to have to become dependent on it. Meaning, like, I didn't want to one day stop and then like my body just shuts down. And he explained that, hey, it doesn't work like that. Like, yes, if you go cold turkey, it can have some adverse effects for your body to readjust, but we'd basically win you off of it, you know? And that's what I needed to hear is like, am I going to have to take testosterone for the rest of my life in order for me to feel normal? The answer is no. But there's certain levels to that. Like, I've met other dudes who are pretty open about it, where there's this one guy who was getting night sweats. He went on TRT and he's, 100% back to normal. Tons of stories like that, tons of use cases. And so I ended up taking the dive, and the first time I injected myself with this stuff, it was in my thigh. I don't think the needle went deep enough, so I had like this like bubble, because I think I hit just like underneath the skin before it got into the muscle, because I don't have a lot of fat tissue in my thighs. And I freaked out. I was like, what the hell? I don't think it's supposed to look like this. So I reached out to the doctor, and he was like, yeah, you didn't do it right. Next time I did it, and it was completely fine. Also, the pain, man, the first time you do it, it just, if you're not used to needles or you're not diabetic or something, then it's like, damn, I have to do this forever. But trick learned. I started looking at a bunch of YouTube videos. If you cough at the same time you're jabbing yourself, then you don't really feel it, right? It's like, for some reason, the cough takes away from that pain. So I do that to this day. I have to inject twice a week. How many milliliters that you have to inject really depends on your blood work and where you're at. So for the first couple of months, I didn't really feel anything. And then it seemed like slowly my strength was starting to increase, And I was like, man, there probably really is something to this. And now that I have normal stabilized levels, I just feel good. There's still the other things like eating healthy, not drinking alcohol, that come into play. It's not like a one size fits all approach. You can't take TRT or go on it and then just think that you're magically going to start getting fit or magically going to start building muscle. Your metabolism's going to increase right away. Yeah, it helps with some of those things, maybe the underlying health issues, but you still have to put in the work. You still have to be consistent. You still have to eat healthy and go to the gym and work out and be athletic and do a lot of those things. And it kind of enhances that, One of the things that I want to talk about, though, is some of the hesitations with it. It's like, not only was it that the fact that I had to supplement my testosterone and not necessarily feel like less of a man, but like, damn, I can't do it naturally. I think a lot of guys run into that. The other thing that just popped on my head was needles. And early on, even sometimes now, get embarrassed, man. Like, it almost feels like I'm a junkie, because I will inject and then have the needle, put it in the trash bin. And it's like, I'm not diabetic. Everybody that I'm close to knows that. And so if they look in the trash can or in my office and I got like, a garbage can full of needles, it just feels weird to me, even now. And I've been on it for a year. That's one of the key takeaways, is like, just because you are on TRT it doesn't mean that you're less of a man. Like, the needles are what they are. You have to inject unless you take oral supplements. But yeah, it's like, do what you have to do for you. Do your research. Like with anything, take a calculated risk. Try it for a little bit. If it starts making you feel great, good. Keep on it. Do the hard work. Do all the things that you're supposed to do. Again, it's not a magic pill. It is not I'm going to be on this and then be good for forever. You still got to do the work. So I just wanted to share my experience with going on TRT and how it's benefited me tremendously. Again, I feel fantastic, especially, laying off alcohol, getting good sleep, taking care of my body. My energy is back 100%. I'm willing to do the work and put in the work and do all the right things. If you are too, and you're ready to make that change, give yourself at least the courtesy of looking into something like this. I am not a scientist by any means. I'm not saying that you should. It's just, in my experience, the transformation for what I have seen for myself and from what I've heard from other guys who have been open about it. It feels good, man. And I don't think that, I feel like it's a mixed bag as to whether you're going to find people who, think that it's a bad idea and people that think it's a good idea. I've had other folks talk to me and be like, hey, I don't think it's a good idea, right? It's synthetic. It's not natural. And then other guys who are like, hey, man, I feel normal now. And that's what I was looking for, is to feel normal. Same thing goes with hair, and that's a whole different topic. I started losing my hair and I was like, man, I kind of want to get transplants, For me, it doesn't matter. Just accept myself for who I am. But if who I'm going to be, at least when it comes to health, is sluggish and not focused and not being able to be here for a long time and enjoy my life, then and the alternative is injecting myself a couple of times a week and going on TRT, then that's what it is for me. So until the next time, thanks for listening. Share this with friends and family who might resonate with the message, and we'll see you in the next one.